Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Go Green Kitchen. I'm Colin, and today we have a very special recipe for a very special occasion. Today, and for the next 2 weeks or so, is the celebration of the Lunar New Year. Also known as the Spring Festival, it's an age-old tradition practiced all over Asia that celebrates the coming of the new year based on the lunar calendar. Basically, over a 15-day period, it starts on the day of a new moon and ends on a full moon. But with all of that said, it's also known for all of the incredible food. This in mind, today we'll be veganizing just one of these incredible traditional staple foods, and one that really reminds me of my own childhood, Chinese almond cookies. Post-production Colin here. We'll cover the almond environmental caveat later in the video. Now, historically, these cookies aren't as old as some of Chinese cuisine, of course, but it traces back to the 1800s, around the first wave of Chinese immigrants to the US. And these cookies, while they started out in Chinatowns, now are common as heck all over Hong Kong, Macau, and across mainland China. But enough talk. With that out of the way, let's get started.
Step 1 is getting out all of your ingredients and materials, like a medium bowl and some measuring tools. So you're going to put in 1/2 cup of almond flour for almond flavor, and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. This can be gluten-free as well, and you can just do 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour if you don't want to use almond. That's optional. Alright, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, and we're going to give that a nice mix. Now we're going to put all of this through a sieve. We're going to sift it, make sure the powder is nice and thin, make sure that it has a nice consistent cookie consistency. Get that in there, very cool. And next up, we're going to move on to the wet ingredients.
Now, vegan butter is made from plant-based oils like sunflower, cashew, olive. It's not just great because it fights against all the issues surrounding mass livestock rearing, both ethical and environmental, but it is great because it is great for your heart, it has much lower saturated fat content, and is a lot more nutritional value.
So we're going to need 1/2 cup of non-dairy butter, or you can use peanut or vegetable oil as well. And while that's melting, we're going to put in 1/3 cup of sugar, then dump in our melted vegan butter, give that a good stir, and then we're going to move on to our fake egg.
Flaxseed eggs are great because, well, first, it's kind of magical how it replicates the consistency of an egg. But in recipes that only call for a few, it's great because it makes that creamy, fluffy texture and contains a lot more health benefits like omega-3, vitamins, things like that.
So to make 1 flax egg, we'll need 3 tablespoons of hot water with 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal. Let this set aside and thicken while we throw in 1 teaspoon of non-dairy milk, I'm using oat, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now that's thickened, we're going to throw in our flaxseed egg into the wet ingredients, mix it up, and slowly put in our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. This way, they'll make no clumps and we'll have a nice firm dough. Put this in the fridge to chill for about 10-15 minutes.
Now, before we get too ahead of ourselves, we're going to want to preheat the oven 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Voila.
Now that our dough is nice and firm and easy to work with, we're going to set up a lined baking sheet and roll the dough into balls of about 2-inch diameter, though this can vary based on how big you want your cookies, honestly. Next, we're going to add on our almonds. But here's the thing. Post-production Colin coming to you pre-recorded from my closet, where I record all my voiceovers. So, almonds, a thirsty crop, okay? Like, high water footprint. 1 almond takes like 4 gallons of water to produce. 1 pound of them takes like 1,000. And then you have California with its perfect Mediterranean climate producing like 2 billion pounds of almonds every year. Not good. Also the fact that colony collapse disorder, where bees that pollinate these almond trees that are forced to are dying off, probably because of chemical fertilizers. So why am I using almonds? Okay, 1, we already had some, so it'd be a waste not to use it. We bought them in bulk a while back. Number 2, we make this, it's like eat and make this like once a year, so annually, sparingly. And number 3, it's traditional to use almonds, and my grandma makes these too, so I feel kind of bad straying too far from the traditions, so yeah. What I'm telling you is, don't completely cut out your almond consumption, I'm not asking for that, but to reduce it. Buy them organically, so you don't hurt those bees. Buy them in bulk, buy them very sparingly, and if you don't already have almonds and you don't want to, purchase almonds just for this recipe, you can use peanuts or something. Peanuts have a much lower water footprint, like a fraction of it, because it's not technically a nut, it's a legume. Yeah. So, now that that's cleared up, we're going to throw in our almonds, though you can also use peanuts, on our cookies. And now for egg wash, we're using coconut oil.
Disclaimer though, coconut oil usually comes in big jars, so if you're not going to use it for cooking and stuff, this step's pretty optional because the shine on top is just for fun.
With this in mind, we're going to heat up 1/2 teaspoon of coconut oil and brush it right on top. And now finally, we're ready to pop our babies into the oven for around 18 to 22 minutes. Press that button, and patiently wait. And with movie magic, they are done. Ta-da! No, actually, we're going to plate them up, and now, ta-da! I'm honestly obsessed with how these turned out. They are a beautiful golden brown, they smell amazing, and yeah.
And now for the moment of truth. Next to the gorgeous plant. Inside's really moist. Outside's really crispy. The flavor's really good. Slight flaxseed, slight coconut oil flavor, which is good. Let me try to get the almond. Shut up. Alright, thank you so much for watching this episode of Go Green Kitchen. It went really well today, and I hope you guys try it out for yourself. If you want to do so, the recipe can be found in the description down below with all of the different inspirations and citations and research that we did together. So yeah, I hope you try it out. It's delicious, it's sustainable. What's not to love, okay? Have a happy, whatever you celebrate. If you celebrate Lunar New Year, happy Lunar New Year. And whatever else in life. Love yourself, bye.
Aloha e kai ala ai.